here on our forum on tourism 2018 and beyond, and we're having quite a discussion here on improving our product improvement and product development. Minister, I just returned from Grand Bahama, the area where our Lukaya is a ghost town.
Well, I think it's been articulated quite clearly in the press that the government, the Office of the Prime Minister in Freeport, under the auspices of the Senator, the Honorable Kwesi Thompson, has been working diligently to get a deal done on our Lukaya. We recognize how important that is to the economy of Freeport. It's a significant amount of rooms, 1,200 rooms, and that hole in the Freeport economy continues to hurt. The government is excited to have named or has announced the Oban project, obviously, which is non-tourism related. West End is very close to coming alive again, which was formerly the Ginn project. There's renewed interest in that, and there's a significant tourism component to that project. And then the last bit will be a deal that is very much a work in progress now, and Mr. Wynn is the individual who we're dealing with and trying to strike a deal. We've got some very interesting hotel partners that will come into that project, well-known brands that we all know. So I'm very optimistic that a deal will be done shortly. But Freeport has been challenged. And then once you've rebuilt the hotel inventory, you then have to focus on lift. You have to get planes back into that destination. A lot of them have pulled out. It's quite expensive actually to go to Freeport now because of the lack of lift. And so we have to, the Ministry of Tourism will swoop into action to once we see a product coming back on stream, to increase the lift at that destination.
But once again, it's about the experience.
Absolutely, Mr. Johnson.
Yes?
I just wanted to chime in, Minister, and I am very delighted to hear your projections. However, as you project to get the lifts, as you project to get the hotel up and running, we got to also project what is going to be the attraction, what is going to be the people, what's going to cause people to want to come to Grand Bahama. We started to look at it. The International Bazaar, you would have remembered. You would have remembered the Sultan's Tent. You would have remembered, as I said, it was the Mecca, it was the magic city. We called it the magic city because it was so filled with entertainment. At the same time that we're talking about reopening that hotel, we got to talk about how we're going to create those attractions that's going to cause the people to have that experience when they do come. And so we need to be at the table when we're planning so that it can be included in the planning process. And so I'm appealing once again that call upon those of us who are in the industry, who are willing to work with the government, willing to work with the private sector, but I am not in the hotel industry. I am in the entertainment industry, and we need to partner with the hotels, we need to partner with the government, so that when we roll this program out, we know we're gonna have sustainable attractions that visitor gonna have every day of the week that they are on that island.
Well, I don't disagree with you, and I think that's absolutely right. And we'll certainly, I guess we just wanted to get to base number one.
Absolutely.
Before we went to base number two. You base number two. We're trying to get to base number one.
But I think,
and when we get to base number one, we got a deal. Then we'll okay. Now what are we going to create to make it attractive? And you're absolutely right.
But is the visitor coming to the Bahamas for the hotel, for the resort? Are they
number
coming?
one, Mr. Jones,
Yes?
the number one reason, still, the reason which causes many people to buy is, you know, you're up in the Northeast and it's cold and it's snowing, and you see that beautiful picture of that incredible water and that incredible beach, and that's what excites you. Now, when you get here, you say, okay, now I've done that for 3 hours today, now what else I could do? But it's that sun, sand, and sea that still gets them here.
Yeah,
don't walk away from that. We sell water.
Sun, sand,
the
and sea
clearest
is all
water
over
in the
the
world.
Caribbean. It's all over the region.
Yes, but
It's
and that's what attracts
Jamaica.
them first. And then when they come here, they look for those experiences, and we have to be ready with those experiences. So when they come back and say, wow, they have beautiful water, they have beautiful beaches, the weather was incredible, and I had lots to do.
Well, why was Jamaica growing exponentially and we were not? Can anybody tell me?
Yes. There's a number of reasons. I just was down there, and first of all, it's cost. They have a very different product. It's all-inclusive. The majority of their visitors are all-inclusive. They go in the gate, and for $1,200, $1,300, they're behind that gate for a week. Everything included. And even in certain parts of the country now, they're being advised not to come from out the gate because of their crime issue. So, but they have done, I must say, the Jamaicans have done an exceptional job of connecting their culture, the soul of their country, to their foreign visitors. And they've done a great job of linking, they call it linkages, linking your tourism product to your people. How can me, man on the street, benefit from foreign visitors staying in hotel? And they've put a special emphasis on food. So the restaurants in the hotels, how can you source local product to feed our guests? They've used a number of different ways to connect, to link, as they call it, the foreign visitor staying in the hotel with the man on the street. And they've created a lot of interesting experiences, and that's what we need to focus on. And I intend to, I've started that process with the Bahamas Hotel Tourism Association to make that happen.
Yeah, but oh, sorry.
I just want to comment. We're a completely different destination from Jamaica. It truly is an all-inclusive destination, and it is, trapped behind the gates of the resort. Here, you have world-class brands. I mean, you have Atlantis, you have Four Seasons now here that has come here. You've got Hyatt, you've got Rosewood, SLS. This is a turning point for tourism in certainly here in New Providence and certainly for the Bahamas, that you're getting a whole new class of traveler that's looking to come to the Bahamas, and when they can experience what's happening here at our resorts and from a brand perspective and those loyal customers, they have a chance to go out and experience the outer islands as well.
So you're telling us that we shouldn't compare our brand to Jamaica?
I think we have a great opportunity to build on a great foundation that was laid here for tourism and grow this destination into a world-class and a new customer that's a luxury customer that's looking for again, an exceptional experience both in resorts and out on the street. The luxury traveler today is a younger traveler. They're looking to not be at a hotel, but to experience the culture of the community. This is a defining moment for this community to start to open up and build great creative experiences across the island and in the outer islands as well, because you're bringing a whole new traveler here. You didn't have these brands before. You've got some new brands. We have 20 million people in our databases, from Hyatt, from Rosewood, from SLS, from these restaurants that are here. They have a loyal following on a global basis. You're bringing these clients. Four Seasons has a database that didn't exist before here in New Providence, in Paradise Island. So you're bringing a whole new clientele that's coming here. They're looking for a world-class destination, and this is an opportunity to put Nassau and put Paradise Island, put the Bahamas back on the map. You read it today, and the accolades the Bahamas is getting today this is like the fourth best island to come and visit now. Right. It's the hot new destination. We're on the cusp, and it's important that the community and the culture and everybody buy into that and start to reinvest in what they're delivering.
And Wendell, I think it's also important to note the following, and Freddie and I experienced it during Junkanoo Carnival, and actually we experienced the backlash of it when now we see the failure of that backlash. As Graham said, when you have internationally known brands, people follow those brands. So when you have, someone is going to go into a Gucci faster than they go into something that they don't know. Now, first of all of those brands are owned by Bahamians, so they benefit from that. That's a unique thing that we've done, where we've allowed for and pushed for brands that would not franchise in other jurisdictions, franchise locally. But to tag on to this thing about opening up, we can't do it alone. For the entertainment business to succeed, there has to be draw. Unfortunately, you know, we don't have the legacy of a Bob Marley and the music that he's developed over the world that has drawn people to that culture. We need to develop that. And how do you develop that? You get people here and expose them to the culture. When we were doing the Junkanoo Carnival, and we were trying to bring in Janet Jackson or Usher, the point was not to bring in Janet Jackson or Usher because we wanted to bring in Janet Jackson or Usher. The point was to bring them in so that people would come in. We've espoused this over and over, and Freddie Munnings and I, for many years, disagreed on a lot of things, but we agreed on this point. Those people would come in, and then all of the other acts that the people would have seen would have been Bahamian acts.
Well, that's why
and
we
so
have-
the KBs and the Gino Ds and the
45
artists that we created would have been exposed to those people. And if we had done that for 1 or 2 years, after a while, we
then
wouldn't have had a
privatize it.
headliner.
That's right.
Because people would know they're coming to the Bahamas to see Carnival and to see Bahamian music, to eat Bahamian food, to experience Bahamian Junkanoo, to experience the culture. So we have to open up. We have to understand that we cannot do this in isolation.
And to Ed's point, we have 2 of those artists who were signed with Sony Entertainment, the biggest entertainment conglomerate in the world.
Okay.
Sammy Starr and Lady E came right out of that experience.
Let's talk about the cruise industry a little more, Minister and guests, because it is believed that that industry is taking a lot out of the Bahamas and not giving what it should be giving to our product and our destination. I spoke with some store owners from downtown Nassau who said that things are slow, that cruise passengers are not spending as they used to or as they should. But we are giving a whole lot of incentives to the cruise business. Speak to that, Mr. Diaghilev.
75% of the foreign visitors that come to the Bahamas come on a cruise ship.
75%.
75%. Yet they only represent 11% of the foreign visitor spend in this country. So 25% comes from the hotels, and that represents 89% of the spend. So the cruise ship passengers, we get confused with numbers. We like to brag about the number of cruise ship passengers, and I say it too. 6.3 million visitors come here. And most of them are cruise ship passengers. Only 1.5, 6, 7, 8 million are stopover visitors. But the fact of the matter is that I'm unhappy with the penetration or the spend of these foreign visitors in our country. And I think that the cruise companies can do a much better job of assisting us in achieving our goal of getting their passengers off the ships and into our stores and talking up the destination. I've heard endless stories.
So what are you going to do?
I've heard endless stories. Don't worry. Let me get to that. I've heard endless stories of cruise ship passengers being discouraged from coming off the ships when they come to this island. Oh, the place is crime-ridden. It's dirty. It's not worth getting off here. Even when they go to the islands, if you look at the cruise ship passengers and how they rank the destinations that they visit in the Caribbean, our islands are in the top 5, 6, 7. Okay, but when those passengers come off the ships, the cruise director said, "Man, don't bring no money. Don't bring nothing. You ain't got nothing to spend. Just go and use our facilities which you prepaid on the boat for." So I think, and when you speak to the senior executives of the cruise companies, they say that ain't true. So there seems to me a massive disconnect between the senior executives, unless it's an intentional act, to say, you know, well, we're investing in your country and we're spending on all these islands. I said, man, those islands don't do nothing for us. Our people in Nassau, our people on those islands. This is where you've got to, I got to feel you. I ain't feeling you. You come and you bring in numbers, but I ain't feeling you. So I intend to go, I wouldn't say to battle, but I intend to have significant discussions with the the cruise companies. Actually, the first week in March is a Sea Trade conference when I've made meetings, I've arranged meetings, planned meetings with all the senior executives of all the cruise passengers to inform them of a number of things. First and foremost is our intention to privatize the Prince George Dock, to put a private company there to manage and run the Prince George Dock, because it's chaotic. It's not a product that we can be proud of. It's a mess down there. So I believe, you know, in much the same way that NAD manages the Lynden Pindling International Airport, we need an entity to manage the Prince George Dock, to remove the chaos from down there, to make it a pleasant experience. You know, you watched the thousands of passengers come off those cruise ships, and then you watch what they go through to get from their boat through the gate and to Bay Street. And man, a lot of them turn around and go back. Why should I put up with this? So we have a lot to do. We have a lot to, and obviously I'm working with Mr. Fields on the redevelopment of Bay Street. It's a long progress. It's a long process, rather. But we have to deliver a better product. Our taxis, I think we announced that recently. We're putting them in a location where they can sit and wait instead of sleeping on the streets and blocking up the traffic and going out there to have to hustle rather aggressively, and try to just clean up and to improve the gateway to New Providence for 75% of our foreign visitors.
There was a time when the cruise passengers or cruise ships were told to close their stores when they are in the harbor, when they are docked.
You know,
that is out of the question now. Do we have the capacity to tell the cruise operators to shut down their stores inside these ships?
You know what? We were scared of the cruise companies. They're very good. You know, they pull a boat. When we don't do what they tell us to do, they pull a boat. They call up the taxi cab. We pull in this boat because that minister say we can't do this. So we pull in a boat. That's business, right? They're going to use their economic strength to try and force us to do what they want us to do. But there are certain things that we forget, certain advantages we have. First of all, you look at a map of South Florida, we are the closest place to Miami and Fort Lauderdale. And if you're going to take a 3-day cruise, you can't do it in any other way than coming to the Bahamas. Second of all, we have multiple destinations here. They have invested significant amounts of money in these islands. I think it's much more important to say, if you want to go to that island, you got to come to Nassau. And the third thing, there are 90 ships, 90 cruise ships under construction now. Where they can go?
And Minister,
So I feel that the tide has turned, where we are in a stronger position to negotiate a better position than we were, say, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. But you know, you gotta be ready for the fight.
and
they are strong people.
partnering, and we support you. And partnering with you, the entertainers must pull up their socks, get their acts together, and create the attractions that will cause the people to want to come off the
Well,
ships.
they complain about the cruise ships. Mickey Aronson always says, "Man, I remember when I used to come here as a kid with Dad Ted, and we used to be going to this place and that place." He said, "I know what happened to you. All y'all got
As a
nothing
matter
here
of
for my
fact,
cruise
they used to
passengers to
stay
do."
until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning
Yeah.
because there was so much activity for the cruise ship passengers.
Let's not forget
So
that.
entertainers have not been as compelling as they should be. Is that the point you're making?
I let
Is
the
that,
man
is that
speak
the
for
point
himself.
Mr. Harrison makes?
Well, I totally agree. Again, I reiterate, the fact is, we don't have the attractions to pull the people off the ships.
So you've let the side down.
Well,
The entertainers have.
I didn't
Yes?
say that we've let the side down. We have not been able to get the resources, the same kind of resources as other investors, so that we could create these attractions.
Again,
It's a
Wendell,
business.
Again, and it's very important to notice this, and I don't mean to butt in on this, but that we were a part of something. If we're going to do this, and I look at the people in this room and people who are watching, if we're going to do this, it's not the government doing something, it's not the musicians doing something, Muhammad, it's everyone doing something. And we must understand what it takes to get to that point. When we did Freddie Munnings Jr. has been in the entertainment business for many, many years, and he's not a cop-out on anything. When he consented to be on the Junkanoo Carnival Commission, he did so for one reason. He saw a vehicle that would develop Bahamian musicians. In the first year, 180 songs were written over a 4-month period. 180 songs. Now, not all of them were good, but a lot of them were good. And what we saw developing, and we brought Sony in to partner, what we saw developing was a sound that was a Bahamian sound. We didn't develop it, the musicians developed it. But you know what we did? We fought amongst each other because of politics, etc. no one could see the picture of what we were trying to do.
Okay, Mr. Davis?
No, I just want to comment on cruise ship passengers. I think, again, you have the perfect advertising to come back and stay here as a land destination. And cruise conversion is an important aspect not to forget about, and that is if a cruise ship passenger has a great stay and a great visit for that day, it's the perfect advertising for them to say, I'm going to come back and stay and come back and stay in a hotel. Or I'm going to go to one of the outer islands because I love that day visit that I had. It's the perfect advertising. We need to do a better job at creating that one-day visit as the best advertising we possibly can to convert them to come and spend that much more when they come to stay overnight.
This is our final break here on our program as we continue to talk about tourism 2018 and beyond. And when we return, we are going to have our panelists give us their closing thoughts. We'll come right back.